What's going on, Lean and Mean Warriors? We are back with week number 3 of your nutrition tips. This week I got a fun question for you. What was your first car? If you're like me, it was probably a Hoopty. I had a 1982 blue Escort. Well, most of it was blue. I had a couple gray parts on the car. It was a 4-cylinder stick shift with smoke constantly coming out the back, and the ceiling really wasn't a ceiling. There was no padding, nothing but steel. You know, that car was known as a Hoopty, and I would say that is the one end of the spectrum, what is the absolute worst. And then you have the other end of the spectrum where you have your Lamborghini Diablos. Throughout that spectrum of the cars, there's going to be different type of gasoline grades that you would give to these cars. You're not going to put in the Lamborghini that you would put in the Hoopty. You know, your body is the same way. There's different types of foods that fuel your body, just like the different types of gasoline grades. I don't know, but I'm sure you do not want to be a Hoopty walking around all day long. So you got to ask yourself, what do I want to feel like? What kind of foods do I want to put in my body? What kind of day do I want to have? So we're going to be talking about your black belt foods that fuel you. And number 1 is going to be the black belt timing, which is very important. You want to make sure that you're eating every 2.5 to 3.5 hours. Why? You'll keep your energy at its ultimate highest. Let me show you a quick example of what I mean. Most people have a breakfast every day, a lunch, and then a dinner. And what ends up happening is when you have these 3 meals a day, obviously that's where your energy is. And then about mid-morning, your energy starts to drop down. Maybe you need another cup of coffee. And then finally, when you have lunch, you're back up again. And then same thing, about mid-evening, around 3 o'clock, you need that next cup of coffee to get yourself by to dinner time. See, the goal when you're feeding fuel in your body as a black belt champion, you want to make sure that you add a snack in between each meal, which will be allowing you to eat every 2.5 to 3.5 hours. By putting this snack in, you're going to notice that your energy levels end up being higher throughout the day versus where it was lower. So the goal with black belt timing is making sure that you're eating every 2.5 to 3.5 hours. Next, we're going to bring you to your black belt types. And what do I mean by that? Black belt types are going to be 4 different kinds of types. You have your fruits, you have your vegetables, your lean meats. You want to make sure you're eating chicken, lean ground beef, your flank steak, and then you have your complex carbs, which will be your sweet potatoes, your brown rice, and your brown breads. These black belt types are going to give you the most efficient fuel that will help you live a black belt charged life. Next is going to be your third one, which will be your black belt combinations. When you're having a plate of food, you want to make sure, here is your plate. Half of the plate is your greens, a quarter of the plate is your proteins, and then another quarter of the plate is going to be your complex carbs. So when you're fueling your body to be at its best, you want to make sure you constantly remind yourself, how's my black belt timing? How are my black belt types? And then how is the black belt combinations? So this way I can get the most out of my day. You know, food like money, you got to ask yourself, it should be working for you. You know, I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. And always remember, get fit, stay fit, and never quit.